Since 1947, the World Affairs Council has become the preeminent global stage for world leaders and the public to inform, engage, and debate the most important issues of our time. It's your world. Get to know it.
The P for Punjab, the A for Afghania, or the Northwest Frontier Province, the K for Kashmir, they didn't believe in I's, the S for Sindh, and then TAN for Baluchistan. And this became Pakistan. And this also conveniently meant land of the pure. So when you were creating a country based on religious identity, Pakistan was also the first the country based on religious identity. This was also a very appropriate name for the country. So this is where I pulled the title from. And when I arrived in Pakistan in February of 2006, this was about the extent of my knowledge of the place as well. An AP journalist once asked my friend here, my colleague, or my associate, Abdul Rashid Ghazi, they said, so this kidnapping of brothel owners, does this signal the Talibanization of Islamabad? And his response was, look, when Rudy Giuliani became the mayor of New York, he also went after the brothels. Did anyone call that the Talibanization of New York City? Whether it was a totally apt analogy, you still had to give it to him that this guy had a foot in both worlds and could make these kind of references. So all this led up in my relationship with Ghazi, and I could see over the course of these months from January 07 until July of 07, they were accumulating weapons. You could see the rocket launchers all of a sudden leaning in the corners of the rooms. You could see that the guys who were guarding Ghazi were no longer these young madrasa students of his, but were increasingly hardened jihadis who were covering their faces and who were very uncomfortable with me being there. They didn't understand why Ghazi was so open to talking to me. So the other problem, though, was that with Ghazi now being dead, my window into this world had seemingly shut. One of the things, though, that I saw from him in the final months of his life was that there was this emerging generation of Taliban that he represented and his movement represented. And this new generation was no longer under the control of the traditional tribal authorities, the traditional religious authorities, and even the intelligence agencies, all three of which, that being the tribes, the religious parties, and the intelligence agencies, which had fostered the Taliban that had taken over Afghanistan in 1996 up until 2001. And so this represented a really important shift and really important emergence of this, what we later called next-gen Taliban. And so soon after Ghazi was killed, I began working on a piece for the New York Times Magazine that was titled Next Gen Taliban, and that detailed this split